Hello everybody, good afternoon and good evening to you all. Welcome to the stream. Now if only I could get OBS to work. There we go, we've got video, that's good. That's good. Lael, Magnus, Esme, Monica, 777 on Wings of Love, Bandit, Towin, Sven, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. Guys talking about Dragon Age. Yeah, I mean, like, it's okay. It seems not bad for the first hour that I've played so far. I mean, obviously right now the game is very story heavy, very linear, which is like basically I guess what you'd expect out of the beginning of an RPG. But yeah, I don't know. The prevailing internet hates Dragon Age Veilguard. So, a lot of people don't like it. I think it's pretty okay. You thought the combat was going to be more like BG3. Yeah, no, it's not. Because, like, I think they, like, called it a CRPG. I was watching some video where they referred to it as a CRPG. Like, it's not a CRPG. It's an action RPG. Which is obviously very different. Yeah, the combat is very action combat. Very much like Dragon Age Inquisition. The game looks and feels, to me at least, very similar to Inquisition. The combat feels tighter, but it's still leaning very heavily into that more action-oriented version of combat. You're obviously probably you're not controlling your party members, you're not even really having to worry about them much at all, or whatever they're doing is kind of inconsequential. On higher difficulty, it might be more satisfying. Because on like normal difficulty, it seems just super easy.
What can I do for you? For the Alliance?
I'm still trying to decide, like, if I'm going to play more of it, how much I'm going to play of it. Like I said, the internet hates it, which makes it really hard to make content for it. Because even if there are people out there that would like to watch the playthrough, the algorithm is not going to send the playthrough to anybody, because right now the internet is very negative about the game.
Light be with you.
It's like, you know, part of being on YouTube.
Be careful.
Well met.
Alright, yeah, let's grab the rest of the quest here, and then we will head out. We'll head down this way first. We'll go after the warriors, the mages. We have to find Blind Mary. It looks good, you're not sure why they hate. Yeah, like, I don't know if some of the hate is about how it looks. Like, some people don't like the more cartoony art style. But I would argue, like, it very much follows in line with the art style set up in Inquisition. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I don't know, I mean, do they want, like, a super realistic looking game, like Dragon's Dogma 2 or something like that? Like, is that what people want?
Go with honor.
Because the game looks like the sole successor to Inquisition. Although, that being said, there are a lot of Dragon Age fans who don't like Inquisition. Because of the art, because of the combat. There are people in that fanbase who only like Origins. Origins was a very different type of game from Inquisition and obviously from Veilguard. It's like the entire game is different. The art is different, the vibe is different, the feel is different, the combat is like markedly different. Just different games. I think the game looks good enough, and what I really love about the game is that it runs smoothly. It runs smoothly at high settings on my rig, and I don't mind the art style, and so like I don't need it to look super realistic. I like that it looks decent and runs great. A nice, smooth FPS. I guess a lot of what people don't like about it, and I haven't played very much of it, so I haven't experienced this, but I think people don't like the story. I've seen it being accused of being too much of like a PG-13 story, where people who really like Dragon Age want it to be like more metal. Because Dragon Age Origins was incredibly metal. And so if you're looking for a game that's going to be like Dragon Age Origins, this is not it. Like thematically or in tone. Yeah, I think like anything else, it's all about managing expectations and having like realistic expectations of stuff. What I've been finding too is like, you know, yeah, if it's a story-driven RPG and you're just not into the story or the characters, then you're not gonna like it. If you just can't find anything to enjoy about it. And so I think it's where like a lot of people are at with it, is like people who are longtime DA fans, like they just don't like the story, they don't like how the characters are handled. So yeah, and I can understand that. As someone who feels burned by like WoW's recent story and WoW's recent characters, and like I can completely understand getting into a game that you want to like, but then having the story and the characters like not resonate with you. And then just not enjoying the game because you can't resonate with the characters, the story, any of it. So I definitely get it. It's a sentiment I can certainly relate to. What sucks though is like I think the game is going to get a lot of negative feedback, but the game seems like it could be really fun and good for some people. Those people might not be like old Dragon Age Origin fans, but I feel like there are people out there who will really like the game. Buffalo Bill, good afternoon, man. Yeah, Michigan, we got windy yesterday. It's not always like this. This is just like a cold front moving through, and with it we have lots of wind. Thankfully the wind kind of died down for Halloween night last night. It's pretty decent. Some pretty decent trick-or-treating. Why don't I use the Void Walker? Because I don't want to. Because I'm doing an imp build, and I'm focusing on face tanking stuff myself. The game could have used more grounded companion, less sarcasm and joking in the face of a world-ending threat. It feels a little inauthentic. I think like it's probably really hard to fucking say how people would act in the face of a world-ending threat, since like in reality we haven't encountered many like world-ending threats. So to say that like a character being sarcastic or joking through a world-ending threat, like I don't know if you could say it's inauthentic. I don't know if we have an authentic example to look at. But I guess your overall point is that to you it seems too childish, and I think maybe that's the overall sentiment for people that are longtime DAO fans, is that the game isn't serious enough. The game should be more serious. Because it's Dragon Age, and it should be metal, and it should be dire, and it should be serious. I get it. That's what I feel about Warcraft too, so I can understand. It's funny because like I think how people feel about the story and characters of Dragon Age Veilguard is how I feel about the story and characters of War Within. I think it's the exact same sentiment. Just like not really relating to them, not really feeling like they have anything interesting about them, feeling like their dialogue is just kind of lame and forced. Like I think the way people feel about it is like I can definitely relate. Unfortunately, like, I don't think there's a lot of people in games working at these studios making choices who really want to make like hard, gritty metal shit. They just don't want to. And part of the reason is like I think the overall sentiment is that if they make something a little bit softer, it's going to appeal to more people, and if it appeals to more people, it's going to have a bigger audience, and if it has a bigger audience, it's going to make them more money. Whereas if you go with something like really hardcore, you know, like the fans are going to love it, the core fans are going to love it, but it might bounce off a lot of people, and ultimately you're like limiting what your audience is. And I think there's a lot of consideration of things like that when they're making video games, and like, to be fair, there should be less of those considerations, and like the consideration should be like, how do we make a great video game that feels authentic and good? But yeah, sadly doesn't always happen. I mean, and we get some gritty video games. We got Space Marine 2. Like shit, maybe I'll refund Dragon Age, and maybe I'll pick up Space Marine. If I want to play something like metal and gritty and like hard, then like that game exists, you know. There are these games. Obviously, like Baldur's Gate 3 takes itself like pretty seriously, so if what you want is like a darker, more serious RPG, like it exists. It just might not be Dragon Age Veilguard. When is Elder Scrolls 6 coming out? When Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, it's going to have the same problem as every other game that comes out, which is that it's not going to meet people's expectations after being just like in their imagination for 10 years. Like something can't live in a fan's imagination for 10 years, come out, and still meet expectations. The expectations are going to be impossible to live up for, because like humans are weird. Like the longer we have to wait for something, the better we expect it to be. It's this fucking like completely groundless like reaction that we have to being forced to wait, is that we equate having to wait with when we get the thing should be better, equivalent to how long we've waited for it. So when fans wait like 10-15 years for these fucking games to come out, then they come out and it's like, it doesn't fulfill my every wish and desire that I've developed in my own mind over 10 years of waiting for this game and not living a life. It's never good. They're never going to live up. They're always going to be panned by fans and critics. It's never going to be as good as the last one. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. Like, that's the problem. So when it comes out, like, why would they rush it out? Because they know it's going to suck when it comes out, or at least everyone's going to say that it sucks. I wouldn't be in a rush to put it out either. I'm gonna hang on to that until all the current fans are dead and the next generation has risen. Then I'm gonna release Elder Scrolls 6 when people might like it. Not when like the crotchety old fans who've been waiting for 10 years are gonna shitpan it on the internet like into oblivion. I'm not gonna release it into that environment. Am I enjoying the Warlock so far? Yeah, I've been enjoying the Warlock. I don't hate it. If I was going to be having a miserable time, it probably would have started by now. So I feel like it's been good. And yeah, big thanks to those of you guys who have checked out the Dragon Age video and who have checked out the Shaman Cataclysm video. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get to a point where I can have recorded stuff back on the channel consistently. You know, it's kind of the cornerstone of the channel, and recently I just haven't been putting aside the time. I haven't been investing the time in working on recorded stuff, so trying to get back to a point where that's like a focus of the channel. So I appreciate those of you guys who go there, who leave your likes, and support that effort. You wonder why they removed Joyous Journeys? Yeah, that was a little bit of a scandal on the forums. People were very unhappy that they removed Joyous Journeys. I guess it was only out for like what, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? And I think the thing that people had the biggest problem with was that Blizzard did not communicate any kind of time frame for JJ. They released it suddenly, and they took it away suddenly. And so, yeah. When now I don't mind, because like the leveling in Cataclysm is already really fast. So it doesn't really bother me that they took it away. But yes, when I decided I was going to start that character now, I had thought I was going to have JJ. And then on the day of me starting it, like, there is no more JJ. So yeah, people were not happy. Like I said, I don't really care too much. Because for me, like, it's fine. Like, I haven't seen a lot of the Alliance Catazones in their entirety anyway, like beyond like Red Ridge and Westfall, so could see some new stuff and read some new quests.
Hello.
Have a bit of a longer journey.
See you around.
But people were pissed.
Have a good one.
So there's that. I think it's a reasonable expectation that Blizzard would say, okay, we got 4 weeks of JJ, it begins on this date, it ends on this date. I think that's like a reasonable expectation to have. Doesn't feel like it's asking too much. And I just wonder, like, why they didn't communicate. Maybe it was just like it slipped through the cracks. Like they thought they communicated, but they didn't. Maybe they don't have enough staff. I don't know.
Well met. Be careful. Go with honor, friend. Farewell.
Okay, what do we got now? Fingers. How do we want to do this? I don't think I want to go after the Worgen yet. Let's run down the road. We have to turn in 8-Legged Menace. The thread goes back up to Abercrombie. We have some stuff going on in the graveyard we could work on. But I feel like there's another quest that we can pair up with these quests. It's like, I forget what the item is, but it's an item that drops off the skellies. Either way, let's travel out to the west. Oh good, Stitches. Perfect, great, wonderful. Let's just not get killed by Stitches. Rot Blossoms, yeah, that's it. And so Rot Blossoms, I think Rot Blossom quest comes after delivering this to Abercrombie. I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from. It's like a follow-up. There you go, buddy. Underwater breathing for you. It's all I can do for you. I read today that Season of Discovery is going to have yet another phase. I guess in November they're rolling out, I guess this is the 6th phase. And they're doing the AQ events and releasing that stuff. And I think, like, was that the big classic announcement we were waiting for? Was phase 6 of SOD? Because that's what it seems like right now. It seems like that was the classic announcement we were yet to receive. How long are they going to go on with SOD? I mean, I don't know. What are the SOD phases about? In each SOD phase, well, during the initial 4 phases, they added content. They would do like a raid, and then they would extend the level cap. Level cap will reach 60 in phase 4, so phase 5 and phase 6 are them adding like new raids. They added a new 5-man, and I think there's another new 5-man coming in phase 6. So a handful of new dungeons, reworked raid bosses, upgraded loot, stuff like that, class changes, tons and tons of class changes.
King's honor, friend.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I guess they're gonna do all of it, right? I guess they're gonna work through all the raids, ending with Nax. I guess maybe Nax would be phase 6 or phase 7 at this point. Yeah, Nax would be phase 7. DPS are hitting 3k DPS in SOD. 3k, that seems like that's like later than Lich King numbers, isn't it? It's hard to remember that stuff. I mean, if they're still devoted to releasing the content and making the content, I guess they're like in some way the metrics are figuring that it's worth it for them to do so. Late TBC numbers. I'm hoping that's not going to be the announcement at the Blizzard Direct. I'm hoping they're not going to announce like SOD is moving into TBC, coming later this year. A giant leap forward for SOD, a giant step back for WoWkind. That would be how they bring TBC back. They're going to bring TBC back in Season of Discovery, so that we all have to play SOD. And they won't understand that like what we want about TBC and what SOD is are not the same things. that's the part they'll miss. Like, oh, people seem to really want TBC. Let's move SOD into TBC era. That'll be really good. That'll give people what they want, and they'll play SOD. No, that's not what people want when they say they want TBC. I hope they understand that, but you know, you never know. Hey, if they do it, that's not my fault. If they are just that predictably ignorant of what people want and they choose to do TBC SOD, like that's not on me. That just means that they're predictably ignorant of like actual classic player and what they want. Yeah, I mean, it can't be that bad because people still play it. Enough people are playing it that they want to keep releasing content for it, so... I don't know. I feel like I'm just in like a holding pattern until the Blizzard Direct happens. Part of me is worried, part of me just thinks that we're not going to hear anything else about Classic at all.
Hello.
But I have just kind of mentally been in this like holding pattern.
Safe travels. Have a good one.
I guess they could probably announce Mr. Pandaria Classic. Because remember, the Blizzard Direct thing they're doing is like, that's their replacement to BlizzCon. So like, they're not doing physical BlizzCons anymore, they're not doing digital BlizzCons. They're doing the Blizzard Direct. I believe that happens on November 13th. So it's like whatever big announcements they have for like the upcoming year, that's when we can expect to hear about it. So we'll probably hear about Mr. Pandaria Classic. And I guess we'll hear about Phase 6 and 7 of Season of Discovery. And part of me thinks that's probably like all we're gonna hear on the Classic front. Maybe we'll get some cool new like Blizzard games announced. Like well, yeah, I'd like to see some more Warcraft stuff that's not World of Warcraft, and that's like maybe we get Warcraft 4. Maybe we get like an action game. Maybe we get StarCraft Ghosts. Maybe after 25 years and 2 different attempts, we'll get StarCraft Ghosts. That'd be cool. Oh, I heard they're bringing back Plunderstorm. I heard they're gonna bring back Plunderstorm at some point. So that's happening. I really hope that, like, before now and then, they decide just to rename it and just name it World of Warcraft Battle Royale. And, like, I don't think it all has to be about pirates, I guess, is my point. Like, it doesn't have to always only be about pirates. It can literally just fucking be about World of Warcraft. And it can be World of Warcraft Battle Royale. And then you open up a lot of different themes and a lot of different, like, transmog and a lot of different rewards than if you just keep calling it Plunderstorm and having it for some reason arbitrarily be about pirates. So that's what I'd like to see. I think either way I will go play some Plunderstorm, because I probably had too much fun with Plunderstorm. More fun than I should have had. Alright, I guess I need to decide if I want to go into the graveyard or what we want to do. I know I don't really want to fight the ghouls, because some of the ghouls are a higher level. At 27... Maybe we work on Totem of Infliction. I never got the Rot Blossom quest, so, like, I don't know what's up with the Rot Blossoms. Maybe I missed a prereq somewhere. Yeah, I heard about that too, how they spun up a small team or several smaller teams to handle, like, Warcraft games or Blizzard games that are not, like, part of their big games. Like, just basically using the IPs they have to make, like, a bigger variety of games. I think World of Warcraft Battle Royale is, like, really easy pickings, since, like, it basically already exists. Now you just have to expand upon it and grow it and, like, develop it a bit more. Okay, someone else is out here and they're killing everything. Everything is dead. We have a human paladin killing everything out here. Is that what it is? It's the zombie juice that turns into the Rot Blossom quest? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Damn, that is a lot of running back and forth. Oh, I should have been really smart and, like, set my Hearthstone back in town. It's a lot of running. What else do I want to do? Stockades? Like, are we basically at level for stockades? 26 and up. Looking for one more DPS for stockades. The only problem is, like, I don't have all the stockades quests. I probably should have picked those up, done something, like, semi-intelligent. One of them is here. Oh, I do have that one. And then there's one of them in Red Ridge that I just never picked up. Yeah, I don't expect there to be drops, right? Stockades is mainly for the kill XP and for the quest. I never expect to get drops though, so. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I want to do that, we'll see. Stitches ahead, watch out. Somebody whispered me and told me Stitches was ahead, that's nice of them. What about Dud? Let's see if Dudley's online. No, there's no duds. No duds online today. Oh, here we go. Nope. No duds. Yeah, I bet he died. He's probably dead. Yeah, that's Stitches. Okay, well, probably our best method here would just be to leave him alone, let him do his thing, and we'll just kind of fight stuff here for a second while he gets way, way far ahead of us. Oh, there we go. These guys will be a good distraction for us. We will let them get murdered, and we will just run around them. I'm glad this guy just doesn't go fight. He's like, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out. You guys go ahead and suicide against the giant abomination. I'm gonna be over here chilling. Oh god, they didn't slow him down as much as I thought they might. He doesn't move very fast, so like I don't think there's really any way he catches us. Still not a great feeling. I think we're good. Maybe we should be doing some more stuff in the wetlands before we do too much more here. I thought... let's see... yeah, see, level 24, level 24. Yeah, maybe we should be doing this stuff. We also need to grab the quest for Sida's bag. We haven't done Sida's bag. That'll be some good grinding. So maybe I'll turn this quest in and then maybe we'll hearth back to the wetlands. Because everything else here is yellow. Unless we really want to do a dungeon. Which right now, options are limited. No one else is looking for DPS. Alright, they are going off to suicide against Stitches. RIP.
Hey there. See you later. Have a good one.
Alright. Yeah, I think we'll hearth back to Menethil Harbor. Come back. We got the Rot Blossom quest now, so at least we have that.
Greetings. For the Alliance.
Welcome.
Alright, let's go do this. Let's go work on Sida's bag for a while. We'll grind that one out, and then we'll head down to the excavation site. We'll take the raptor kill quest, and probably do all that stuff too. And then if we want, if we're feeling really lucky, we can go after the Dragon Maw War banners. Even though the quest is level 28, but I think a lot of the mobs are a bit smaller than that. So, we'll see. Ooh, we also have the follow-ups from the Green Warden. We have the Fen Creeper quest. These guys are hanging out in stealth, and then we have the Elder Crocolus skins. Amy, that's awesome. That is good to hear. It's one of the benefits of, one of the few benefits of homeschooling is that when it's picture day, that just means you take your kid to the studio. And they don't have to stand in line in the horde of other kids, and they're not miserable by the time they get to the pictures. You actually get to make sure that their hair is still combed and that their clothes are still on. And you don't get some, like, completely whacked picture that you've paid hundreds of dollars for the picture package, and your kid looks incredibly unhappy. So yeah. 1 point for homeschooling. At least in his picture, he'll seem like he's happy. Alright, I'm going to come to the north here, and I'm going to see if we can find any of these Crocolisk. A lot of times, these guys are farmed out, we can't find any of them, and we are not able to complete the quest. So we will see what is in store for us this evening. And also in the same area, we can start running across these guys, who are hanging out in stealth. Ah, that's right. We have perception. Dramatically increases stealth detection for 20 seconds. That might actually be useful here. We'll see. Or we could just run right into them. That works too. Johnny, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. We picked up a Shimmering Robe of the Owl. 6 intellect, 6 spirits. What do we have on? 5 stamina, 11 spirit. I guess the blue is still better. 6 int, 6 spirit. We'd be giving up 5 stamina. Like, I don't want to give up too much stamina, especially because I'm trying to, like, tank stuff with my face. So I need HP. And I guess I don't really need intellect too much. I'm not really burning through my mana pool. I'm being very mana conservative. So I think right now maybe stamina is more important. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna keep the shirt for now. think I skimmed that last croc. That would be not surprising to me at all. For me to forget to skin something, I'm not shocked. I don't even know where I killed them at. I think we're just gonna have to live without that one. Yeah, that's one thing that happens when either I take a day off a character, or maybe I'm playing like 2 different versions of the game on 2 different characters, is I often forget what professions I have going. This quest was really easy to get done today. That's probably the smoothest I've ever had that one go. Typically, we come here like 3 different times, all the crocs are always dead, they never respawn, and we are sad. Today, we just knocked it out. So, yeah. You hope I never forget I'm on hardcore. I won't forget that part. That part's easy enough, but remembering to skin or like remembering to turn on track herbs, like stuff like that, I'll forget. This quest is also sometimes a bit of a pain. How many do we have? Three out of 12. Yeah. Probably won't be completing this one today. Unless we start running into a bunch more of these guys. Alright, let's come up here and we'll start farming for the bag. We'll either get it in the first, like, 10, or it'll probably take, like, 100 kills. Typically, I have good luck with this one. Not to curse myself or anything. You want to tank stocks or BFD? I don't know, maybe. Hey, Sida's bag, look at that. Look at that, the luck prevails. I was actually hoping to grind on those guys for a little while, but it wasn't in the cards. We got it on, what was that, like the third kill, second kill, first kill? It was pretty early. I wasn't really paying attention. Maybe they adjusted the drop rate for that thing. I feel like it never used to drop, and then like the last like 5 or 6 times I went to get it, it drops in like the first handful of kills. The last time we did this quest on the Paladin, it dropped on the 7th kill. I had one time where it dropped on the first kill. In SOD, you went from level 23.5 to 25 grinding to get the bag. Wow. That seems bad. I hope that was with an XP boost and not like phase 1 prior to the XP boost. It was phase 1, that's awful. That's terrible. Although in phase 1, I ground my way from like level 23 to 25 too, but I did it just arbitrarily fighting wolves in Duskwood. Yeah, I enjoyed phase 1 of SOD for what it was. If every phase had been more like phase 1 of SOD, and less like phase 2 of SOD, then I probably would have enjoyed SOD a lot more. What I liked, obviously, was not having an XP buff. And like, you know, not just dungeon grinding. Dungeon grinding and world event grinding my way to level was not fun for me in Classic Era. So if they had done all the phases like they were originally supposed to do all the phases, then like no phase would have had an XP buff upon release. They said they were only going to give XP buffs for old phases, but that was not true. As soon as phase 2 launched, phase 2 had an XP buff. They like went back on their plan immediately in phase 2. And then I think also like what really hurt it was like choosing to do the PvP events in zones where both factions like literally have to quest. Like if you want to quest, you have to quest in Stranglethorn. So like doing a big PvP event in Stranglethorn, while like it kind of makes sense because you're like, well, that's where players will be, it also sucks for anybody trying to do quests because you just can't get the quests done. The hunt for the sleeping bag. You remember following the guide on Wowhead for the sleeping bag? It took like, it was like 2.5 hours of just following the guide on Wowhead of like traveling around getting the sleeping bag. And then it's like the sleeping bag was a 3% increase to experience gains. And like in a game that has a like a 25 or 50 or 100% XP bonus already built into it, like having an additional 3% is not worth like the 3 hours that you spend hunting down the bag. But yeah, we did get the bag. I remember what I remember most about it was the jumping puzzle at the very end, like how you had to do that jumping on the wall between Hillsbrad and Arathi Highlands. That was awful. That's what I remember most. The best thing about the sleeping bag quest was like you got these XP cookies that gave you did they give you like rested XP? Was that what it was? Like you ate the cookie, you got rested XP. Those were like the best things. That was the best thing about doing that quest chain, was getting the rested XP cookies. I had to mute myself and turn the camera off. Yeah, I got really pissed off. That was probably like having to do a platforming puzzle in World of Warcraft, like got me more triggered than like maybe any other time that I've been playing this game. It was not a fun experience, but it was something that I'll remember forever. So they definitely created a memorable moment. An experience that we'll never forget. It's just not really for the right reasons. These orcs have some extra shadow resist? How dare they? What do I think about Blizz announcing TBC Fresh or Hardcore? What I think is that neither of those things are going to happen. One of them has zero chance of ever happening, and that's TBC Fresh. Hardcore Fresh could happen at some point. But right now, I wouldn't get my hopes up. There's so much stuff going on in other versions of the game that it makes absolutely zero sense to do any kind of classic era fresh start anytime soon. There's so much other content coming out for other versions of the game that it makes literally no sense. Unless it's something that they're planning for like late December, January, February, I don't know. Like, you know, you're gonna have Phase 6 of SOD coming out. You're gonna have Firelands coming out, Infernal Protocol Dungeons, like... Actually, that stuff's already out, I'm pretty sure. Like, you have new stuff, like, everywhere you look, there's new stuff. So it doesn't really make sense to do like a classic era fresh start when they want you in other versions of the game doing all the new stuff that they just put into those versions of the game. You know? TBC hardcore? No, I don't think they'll do TBC hardcore. The way this works is like if you're a fan and you have this cool idea that you think would be really cool if they did, that's almost like guaranteeing that they're not going to do it. It's almost guaranteed that it's not going to happen. Sorry, my big dog is upstairs losing his fucking mind. And I'm just going to ignore him and keep living my life. A PvP hardcore server, just as likely. PvP hardcore server, just as likely as a TBC hardcore server. And the thing that you also have to keep in mind when you say like, oh yeah, TBC hardcore, like if they do a TBC hardcore server, they have to have a TBC era server. Because the way official hardcore works, when your character dies, or in fact whenever you would like to, you can transfer your hardcore character to an era realm. So if they were to do a TBC hardcore realm, they would have to do a TBC era realm. Now you have two servers that have to be maintenance, that have to be bug checked, that you have to pay them to keep the lights on, to keep the server plugged in. Like, it's too much work. They're never going to do it. Same thing with doing progression servers. Like, why would they do a classic fresh progression server? That's what Cataclysm is. Cataclysm is your progression server. Well, damn. We suddenly got very popular here. That's good. Time to escape. They're not going to do a TBC realm either, because then, like I said, they have to maintenance it, they have to patch it, someone has to update it, they'd have to bug test it. Like, there's too much work for them to do. If it's classic era and it involves doing work, especially committing to future work like maintenances, patches, stuff like that, like they're not going to do it. They don't have the money, they don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the staff. Fearing's not a good idea in this area? Who said I had good ideas? I don't remember making that claim. Yeah, and then again, like, keep this in mind, like, can you imagine how pissed off some people would be if they opened up a TBC era realm but did not open up a Wrath of the Lich King realm? Like, how much ire that would incite, even if people don't give a shit about Wrath of the Lich King. People love to have something to be mad about. So yeah, you open up a TBC era realm, you do a TBC hardcore realm, and all of a sudden people are up in arms because, oh, why wouldn't we get this earlier? Why wouldn't we get this for Wrath of the Lich King? How can Blizzard get away with this again and again, ignoring what the players want and only giving them piecemeal bits of content at a time when we deserve the world, we deserve everything? No, you're just gonna piss people off, like, no matter what you do. It's better just to do nothing. Because then that way people don't have new things to be angry about. Or just do the same thing that's already worked. Like, for instance, simply doing a classic era fresh start hardcore server. Same server, copy paste, fresh start, look at that. There's no work, there's no commitment to future work, nobody's pissed off. Everybody's happy, or at least they're ambivalent. Big win. Like, if you want to see what the future of Classic is, you're already looking at it. You're already looking at what the future of Classic is. The future of Classic is that you have Classic era servers that do not change. They're not going to make changes to Classic era servers because that would negate the point of a Classic era server. Some would say the things that have already changed are too many things. And so the Classic era servers are going to be exactly like they are today. The hardcore servers are going to be exactly like they are today. Season of Discovery is going to go through 7 phases, ending with Nax. And then question mark, question mark, question mark. And Cataclysm is going to go into Mist of Pandaria. That's the future of Classic. A lot of the same, and the things that do change are just the expected things. Sod moves forward to Phase 6 and Phase 7. Cataclysm rolls into Mist of Pandaria in the spring. That's it. That's your big exciting news. What, you're not excited? You're not excited about Phase 6 and 7 of Sod or Mist of Pandaria Classic? That's not enough for you? Well, then you should look elsewhere because that's what you're going to get out of Blizz. There you go. If you're looking forward to Mob Classic, focus on that. Like, focus on what's going to be real. It's much better to look forward to something that's going to be real than to just kind of become deluded by your own desires. Like, and wanting things so much that you want a thing so much that you just start to expect that you deserve it, and that makes it even worse when you don't get it. Like, don't fall into that trap. Like, that trap is what TBC servers are, that trap is Fresh Start Hardcore. Like, don't fall into the trap of, like, wanting something so much that you come to believe it's what you deserve. Because ultimately, we're gonna get the expected stuff. So try to be excited about the expected stuff. What's the furthest we've gotten hardcore? I got to 47 on a Paladin before I got bored and retired him. And then we got to level 39 on another Paladin before I fell off a boat. We got to level 42 on a Hunter. That Hunter now lives on Whitemane. They didn't die, I just transferred them. So we've seen the 40s. Ironically, like, only one of those characters actually died, and 2 of them I just retired. Yeah, 39 Paladin fell off a boat. More like fell through a boat. I was stuck to the side of a boat. And then we left Booty Bay. And then the boat zoned into Kalimdor, and as soon as the boat zoned into Kalimdor, I fell through the boat into the middle of the ocean. My Hearthstone was on cooldown, and I saw the island where the warriors get their berserker stance. We just couldn't quite make it. So yeah, we died at level 39 in the middle of the ocean. It was pretty sad, yeah. Should you buy Veilguard even if you haven't played any of them? I would almost say that Dragon Age Veilguard is probably a better game for people who are not longtime Dragon Age fans. Or for people who got into Dragon Age with Inquisition. Then Veilguard is probably a game that you will enjoy more than if you had, like, loved Origin, loved the second one, played Inquisition, like, you're probably gonna enjoy the game more. Like, a lot of the negativity that seems to be surrounding the game is from people that have, like, very specific expectations of what they want the game to be, and that is they want it to feel more like Dragon Age Origins, a game that came out, like, 20 fucking years ago. I'm trying to get back into the excavation site, maybe up ahead here. I played like the first hour of it. It's pretty okay. Like I'm not far enough to like judge a lot of it. I will say, like, I think the game looks pretty and the game runs very smoothly. It runs very smoothly. It seems to be very well optimized for the PC. Whereas like a lot of new games that come out on PC that are like multi-release platform PC are not optimized and don't run well. Like this game at least runs very well. And I think the graphics are fine. I think the combat is probably more enjoyable if you can manage it on a higher difficulty. Otherwise, I feel like the combat would get kind of like easy and boring after a while. And I can't really talk too much about the story yet because I haven't seen a lot of the story. The voice acting is good. Facial expressions are good. The dialogue seems okay. Some people don't like the dialogue. I feel like the dialogue has been fine so far. But yeah, it's not Dragon Age Origins. That's what it's not. So like, as long as that's not what you're expecting, it seems like it's going to be a pretty solid open world-esque RPG.
Interest ya in a pint? Well met.
Our quest log is full. Alright, what quest are we going to drop? Oh gosh. I don't really want to drop anything, to be honest. What can I pick back up rather easily that we haven't started working on yet? We haven't started working on Worgen in the Woods. I can pick that up in town. Same thing with Blackrock Bounty. I can pick that up whenever. Okay. That should be
Hello.
good.
Safe travels.
No.
Alright, before we head out into danger, I have to bio. I'll be back. Alright, so this first kill quest, we have to go outside. We have to go out this way. And the follow-up happens in the excavation site. So I need to remind myself here, these green raptors, they call for help, and they call for help from quite a distance. So we really want to make a concerted effort to fight them far away from other mobs. Does my son have anything on his Christmas list yet? Yeah, he does. It changes like every couple days, you know. No, we have a couple of things locked in and a couple of things up in the air. For better or worse, he's a kid who, like, oftentimes if there's something that he really wants, he typically gets it. So it's not like he doesn't have an extensive list of like toys and stuff he wants or anything like that. There's a few Switch games that he wants. There's like a couple of very specific action figures he wants. In a couple of years, I'm just gonna start giving him money. Individually wrapped $1 bills. And then he can just spend them on whatever he wants. Get him a nice Amazon gift card or something. I'm on mute. Oh, that's good. Yeah. The thing is, there's always like toys he wants, but he doesn't spend a lot of time playing with toys. So it always seems like kind of a waste to get him like a bunch of toys for Christmas. It's like, let's focus on the things you're actually going to use. Like, you might actually play a Switch game. This guy doesn't learn. It's like the same 3 raptors. Now we're on the hook for this guy's aggro, so we gotta kill this one quickly. I don't think he understands that they call for help. And also, like, I don't know, what level is he? He's level 34. I feel like he could kill these guys pretty easily. Level 34 Paladin, level 22 Raptors? He should be able to kill like 3 or 4 of these guys, like, without an issue. I'm not really sure what his deal is. Like, he keeps acting surprised that they aggro. And he can kill him in a couple hits. Like, he literally just killed this thing in what looked like a couple hits. Why not just stand and fight all of them? Why run away? Yeah, you should just stand there and kill him. It's not going to be hard for him to do that. He even has 9 levels on the 25, on the level 25 guys. He's still got like 9 levels on him. Why is he even here? Why are you here? For tea parties? Is that all there is? I don't know why he's here. That's a good question too. All of these quests are probably out level. Wetlands, level 24. Yeah, like this is a level 24, but maybe he's farming like a cooking item. He's not skinning, so like he's either out of his mind or he's farming up something for cooking, like maybe like raptor eggs, I feel like is something. We don't have the raptor egg. Oh yeah, we do. Here, this is probably what it is. He could be farming up raptor eggs for curiously tasty omelets. 6 stamina and spirit. That's really all I can think of for like his reasons to be here. If he's playing it that safe, he's playing it too safe, because you're not going to level up that way. Like if you're not doing quests that are at least green and you're not fighting enemies that are at least green, then you're just not going to level up. He's probably farming cooking mats. Maybe he just hates raptors as much as I hate turtles. It's unlikely. That's doubtful, because I hate turtles. But it may be. Here we go. Oh, look how right I was. This is him. Yeah, see. I told you guys. I told you that he was looking for raptor eggs. So yeah, I plan on cooking them. Five gold each. Yeah. How much gold do you got? 5 gold a piece. On like a mob, he can kill in like 2 hits. And I just play too much classic era. That's why I know what he's doing. I think we did that on our paladin. We weren't level 34 when we did it. We were like a little bit of a lower level, but I remember farming up the eggs for the omelets. Yeah, any Dragon Age I play is going to be recorded stuff. I don't have any plans to... I don't have any plans to stream any any variety games. Don't be so modest. No one would ever call me modest. It's not one of my qualities. I just try to be factually accurate. And sometimes factual accuracy resembles modesty. What are my qualities? Many and varied, and often contradictory. Mm-hmm. Let's head back this way. I'm gonna assume that we'll have respawns popping up any minute. That's an easy interview question to answer. Why do you want this job? I don't, but I really need the money. And I'm willing to sell you my labor. Best answer. You don't want the job, you need the money, and you're willing to sell your labor. Let's just do the transaction without getting too personal, okay? You want someone to do work, I need to have money. We don't have to get into the weeds on this. We don't have to look at my motivations. Let's just keep this a business transaction. I give you my labor, you give me the money, and then we'll be even, and we don't have to talk about it. That's an easy answer too. What are your weaknesses? Answering vague interview questions. That's one of them. What's one of your biggest weaknesses? Being impressive during interviews. One of my biggest weaknesses, actually. Yeah, these are easy. Once you think these out, they're easy. You just have to be ready for them. And always make sure you deliver it seriously, because it's not supposed to be a joke. I love when people try to turn like the weakness question into like almost like a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, my biggest weakness is that I try too hard. My biggest weakness is that I'm just such a perfectionist. If anybody gives you a horseshit answer like that, like don't ever hire them. If someone turns a question about weaknesses around, it makes it seem like, it makes it instead a way to point out something they think is actually a strength, don't hire them. My biggest weakness, I just have such a big heart. I'm too good at what I do. I'm obsessed with my work. Yeah, like all of those bullshit answers. And don't answer with one of those either, because people don't want to hear that. Don't give one of those answers, and don't hire somebody who does give you one of those answers. What do they want to hear? They want to hear an honest critique of one of your faults. They want to hear an honest admission of like one of your faults, but obviously they want it to fall within certain acceptable parameters. So like you just really have to find something you're not great at. Like, examples. There you go. Biggest weakness, I'm lazy as hell. Yeah, I procrastinate a lot. I wait till the last minute to get something done. That's a weakness. I need constant recognition to stay motivated. There's a weakness. It might be worth making a health stone. Yeah, I know. Why be safe? Why be safe? It's only hardcore. It's not like we might need to heal or something unexpectedly. Yeah, the lock is still alive. The lock is still alive. Like, I think the lock will probably live. As long as I don't do anything, like, too heinously stupid, we'll probably live for a long time. We've gotten past the level 20 mark. Like, most characters die south of level 20. And by now we have a lot of our tools. I'm pretty familiar with, like, what we can do to get out of trouble, so I don't foresee any, like, really big issues.
Talk to me. Watch your back.
Alright, so the next round of the kill quest is level 27. I think it's fine for us to do this. We're kind of pushing, like, the threshold here level-wise. And maybe I'll run out of quests to do and I'll regret this later, I don't know. I think at some point we will have to do some stockades. Just for the kill XP. But there really aren't a lot of groups going out. At least, you know, like, you always see, like, a ton of dead mines. And then you don't see too much of any other one thing. Surprisingly, quite a few, like, Maraudons and Zul'Faraks. Yeah, we could try to put one together. Maybe we will. Probably not today, but yeah. Maybe we'll have to put some runs together. If I could find like a healer, like sometimes we get lucky, but you saw what happened with SFK is like I nabbed a healer and it still took like an hour to get the group together. And then the healer that I grabbed that inspired me to make the group, I had to boot that healer to get a tank healer combo because we couldn't find a tank. So my last attempt at making a group was kind of a shit show. And I don't know if I'm ready to try again yet. Physical damage taken is increased by 5. That's really bad for us, obviously. I don't like that at all. Not one bit. Just call Dud. I think Dud's gone, guys. Yeah, I think he's gone. I wish it weren't so, but I'm pretty sure he died. He lived at least until level 24 was the last we saw him at. So he made it at least until like level 24, and then I think he bit it. Yeah, it didn't feel good kicking that healer to invite the tank and the other healer. That did not feel good. That was definitely like a low point for me as far as like my social interactions with people in the game. And like I didn't feel like too bad. That was almost the worst part, is like I did it, and what felt bad was that I don't really feel bad. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I obviously felt bad. I guess what hurt the most was that I was willing to do it. I just like flat out kicked him. Now if he had been traveling to the dungeon, if he had showed any sign of ever traveling to the dungeon so we can get summons out, I would not have kicked him. I wouldn't have kicked him if he was on the way. I wouldn't have kicked him if he had come to the dungeon. He had 50 minutes to get to the dungeon so that we could summon people, and he was never gonna come. So that definitely played into my choice a little bit. And I don't know if he ever, like, I didn't whisper the guy. I'm not like, hey, I'm kicking you, because I just kicked him. Like, he didn't whisper me, I didn't whisper him. But he was probably like, huh, why'd I get kicked? But I think he probably figured it out. Dude had been questing in the wetlands the whole time we were putting the dungeon together. He knew what we needed to get summons out, and he knew we didn't have who we needed at the stone, and he still didn't make an effort to come out. So like ultimately I didn't feel too bad, but it was a weird experience. Yeah, his laziness and an absurd lack of tanks. Like an overwhelmingly stupid lack of tanks is what got him booted. Oh my dear God, we have a full inventory. Oh, it's gross. It's so gross. My bags are so big, and yeah, my inventory is so full. It's so bad. I feel like just a terrible person. I cleaned all this out before I started today. I don't know. The good news is we found all the fragments, so like maybe I'll go turn this one in really quick. That way we can at least get those 3 items out of the inventory. Alright, hello Hyperspawns. Welcome. Oh, we need to work on first aid so that I can get heavy wool bandage. Pretty sure we can learn that at like 150. Why did I think I was done with the quest? What was going on in my mind when I thought that? What am I missing? I guess this one turns in somewhere else. Okay, yeah, he must be back in town. For whatever reason, I thought he was hanging out up here, conveniently ready for us to turn the quest in. I'm assuming none of these people are vendors.
What can I do for you?
You're not a vendor.
What's on your mind?
None of you are vendors.
Great to meet you.
Okay. Oh shit.
How are you?
Oh, I'm missing one. Oh, this is what... Okay, okay. Whatever this is. I thought there were only 3. And then my other question is, like, why is it not tracking this quest? Yeah, it's just arbitrarily not tracking it. Okay. I see now. I've made a terrible mistake. Is there anywhere safe for me to jump down? Probably not. So which one am I missing? I got the one in the casket, I got the one in the soil mound, I got the one that looks like a vase. I don't know what the one looks like that I'm missing. I feel like I've been doing this stupid fucking quest for 20 years. And for 20 years, I'm always missing one of them, and I never know which one it is. It's always a different one. Sometimes I can't find the one that's like a little mound on the ground. Sometimes we can't find the one that's a vase. And right now, there's one, and I don't even know what it looks like. You'd think after 20 years it would stick in my head. But it hasn't. Yeah, the respawns here are something else. Hyperspawns. Just hyperspawns. No big deal, right? It's not like anything could go wrong and get us killed at any moment. It's totally fine. There's the item we need. I am going to try to get in there before somebody else grabs it. So there's two vases. There's a red and gold vase, and then there's a predominantly gold vase. If I stay here and I scan all these raptors, we will be here forever, and we will still not have skinned all the raptors. Yeah, this guy is going hard farming up these eggs. He's still at it. He's killing so many raptors. I kind of wish there were more people skinning out here to make it worth it. There's a lot of leather and a lot of potential leather, like, skinning skill ups. We are at 205 out of 225.
What's on your mind? Be good. Off with you. Well met. Be good.
Oh my god, are we gonna get a pair of green shoulders? Oh my god. It finally happened. We're replacing the gray shoulders with shoulders that actually have stats on it. It's not the feline mantle from SFK, but hey, it's 6 intellect and 4 spirit. I'll take it. I'm gonna be happy about it. It's actually a pretty good reward for a quest reward in Classic Era. And then the last thing we have to do here is we have to hunt the named guy. Why do I feel like this guy is also going after the named mob? Like, there's not really a lot else he could be going back there for. This guy takes forever to respawn. He takes like 10 fucking minutes to respawn if we don't get him, so... That's gonna be really sad. Potentially we'll be doing a lot of grinding here waiting for him to come back, because yeah, if he's up and we don't get to him, we're kind of screwed. Okay, he's not here yet, so that's probably better than him just now getting killed. Now it's gonna be like who can tag him first. Group up? I mean, yeah, if you're gonna try to tag him, then let's group up. Because otherwise, it's gonna be a shit show. You're already in a group. Oh my god. There we go. Cooperation at its finest. And now we stand here and wait. When I said it would take 10 minutes for him to respawn, I was not exaggerating. It takes a long time. For whatever reason, like a lot of named guys in hardcore come back like right away. They respawn almost instantly. This guy takes forever. He literally takes forever to respawn. What's going on? It's classic era. We're waiting on a respawn. Yeah, we've only been waiting 7 minutes. There he is. 7 minutes. Something like that. What are my thoughts about Dragon Age? My thoughts are that it seems like it's a perfectly serviceable RPG. And if someone is like a big fan of Dragon Age Origins, they are probably not going to like it. Because it feels nothing like Dragon Age Origins. It's funny, it's very similar. I think the way people feel about Veilguard is the way I feel about The War Within. Which is like, I don't like the story, I don't like the characters, I think the writing is a little bit too juvenile. And I think a lot of DAO fans look at Veilguard and they see like similar things when they look at the story and the characters and stuff like that. But from like the perspective of somebody who doesn't really care, who's not like a diehard fan of DAO, it seems like an obvious continuation of where they were at with Inquisition. Like, and I don't really understand why fans would think that they would do Inquisition, and then that somehow the game would revert to being more of a CRPG, when they were obviously always leaning towards like more action with like maybe just a little bit of a lighter story. I don't know. It seems like a decent game, but not if you're a DAO fan. Is my overall read. Now, is it a great game? Is it a great game? I don't know if it's a great game. I would have to play much more of it to determine whether or not it's a great game. Right now, it seems okay. I think if someone approaches the game without expectations and just like lets it be what it is, then it's probably going to be a pretty decent experience.
Watch your back.
But like with anything else, the more expectations you bring into something, the more you're going to be let down by it. We don't need any of this stuff. Let's grab the weapon to sell it. That is level 28. What do I want to do? I think we were going into Fell Intellect to increase the mana of our imp, so let's keep doing that. And yeah, I think we're done out here. We could do a couple of things. We can try to find the rest of these Fen Keepers. We need a few more of them. We have 8 out of 12. Let's try to do that while we're out and about. I'm tempted to hearth back. You know what? Maybe we'll just hearth out. Because we have a full inventory. Yeah, let's hearth back to town. My inventory is too full for this. I can't be out here anymore. Or we make our way to this vendor here. Let's do that. Let's make our way to the vendor. That way we can try to work on the quest. The Green Warden is right here somewhere in the area, so if we can get the quest done, we can turn it in, and then we can hearth back to town. That would be the ideal order of operations. Oh my god. I'm like, it's so stupid. I'm low-key sick of running into this guy everywhere. I feel like he's following me, but he's not, but we somehow are just doing the same exact things.
What's up?
I'm gonna buy these potions. Alright, what am I gonna sell? I'm gonna sell basically everything. Everything that I don't absolutely need. The raptor eggs, we're gonna cook those. So I'll try to hold on to those. I have so many potions. I have 16 of these potions. That's a lot of potions, actually. Let's sell... Well, we can still use the melon juice. There's not a good reason to sell it. Murloc eyes can go. Crocolisk meat. Crocolisk meat. I don't know if I don't need the crocolisk meat. That's an older recipe. Let's go ahead and sell that. The tangy clam meat I need clam meat and I need raptor eggs. Oh, the crocolisk meat. Oh, I can use that here. Okay, I need all the meats. And then I have to actually remember to do the cooking so I can get the meat out of my inventory. 10 slot bag I don't need. Alright. That might be just about all we can do. The mana potions are not going to help me, like, at all, so I'm just going to get rid of them. And there we go. That's about all we can do for the inventory. Do I think I can at least hit level 50 on this character? Yeah, probably. Will I? I don't know. It's hardcore, so we could die at any moment. We're going to do our best. We got a paladin to 60. We died 115 times because it wasn't hardcore, but to be fair, a lot of those deaths were PvP related. Alright, that is it for the Green Warden. Okay, that was weird. My game decided to close out there for a second. We're back. Let's see if OBS realizes we're back. OBS has no idea that we're back. Cool, cool, cool. Just what I wanted. I want to do troubleshooting on OBS right now to make it figure out why we don't have video on the screen. Very exciting. Let's see. Okay, that one's working. Let me do this. There we go. It's not perfect, but I had some problems with OBS before the stream today. where like for whatever reason OBS was not detecting my WoW exe, so when I go to my WoW screen you get no WoW. I fixed that problem because I can fix shit sometimes, and now I somehow just now tabbed out of the game, tabbed back into the game, and now OBS is broken again. So yeah, I guess this will work. This will work. This one is set up to capture whatever is on my screen, whereas the other one is set up to only capture the WoW exe, but apparently that's just not going to work anymore.
How are ya? Off with ya. Watch your back.
What can I do for you? Safe travels. See you soon.
Can you send mail between different servers in Cataclysm? I don't think so.
Need help? Be careful.
I don't think so.
Light bless you. King's honor, friend, for the Alliance. Go with honor, friend.
What's on your mind? Safe travels.
Alright, what would I do next? I guess we would go back to Duskwood. Yeah, that looks like it. The level 25 stuff in Red Ridge is now green, so there's the Blackrock Kill quest and Yowler's quest. One of them we dropped to make room. Alright, let's jump on a flight back to Duskwood.
Need help?
And while that flight is going on, I am going to step away from the computer for a minute. I will be back before we land.
Be careful.
Is there something wrong with the toolbar? Yeah, no, that's some kind of OBS glitch. I see what you mean when I look over at OBS. But it's not anything that's happening on my side, so I don't really know what in the hell I could do to fix that. That is one of the strangest things that I've ever seen. And I have no idea. I have no idea what would cause it. My OBS has been fucked up, like, all afternoon. I can't get it to properly display the WoW EXE here in my WoW Classic template. When I use this one now, there's this weird, I see it at the bottom like a weird graphical thing. That's so strange. Oh my god, what in the actual hell? Well, that's good. Nothing's working today. I should have taken that as a sign. Let me see. I have this set to capture any full screen application. And it's still not capturing any full screen application. Capture specific window. Okay, let's tell it to capture the WoW EXE. Okay, we're back. And well, no, we still have a graphical problem here. And like, I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, now instead of it being like duplicated, now there's a weird black bar at the bottom. And I have no idea what would cause that. When I land, I'm gonna exit out of the game and open it back up real quick, because now that's gonna bother the shit out of me for the rest of the time. Because yeah, there should not be an issue. There should be no issues. Nothing is changed from any other day when it's worked perfectly fine. So there really shouldn't be any problems. Oh boy. Leah, good afternoon, good evening to you. It's been a while. Welcome to the stream. Alright, I'm gonna close out of this. It's gone now. I'm gonna reload, and I'm gonna see if maybe that fixes the problem. Or maybe it will create other problems. Either way, we'll see. Yeah, the double vision cleared up, and then we had a black bar instead. I want neither of those things. Okay, this looks good so far. Like, so far so good. Okay, we're good now. Now we're good. Now everything looks fine in OBS, and I assume that means everything looks fine for you guys. And now we have a long, long run to do. I am gonna set my Hearthstone here. It's like 50 minutes till we can use it again, but I'm gonna set it now. That way at least it's done. Next time it's up, we can use it.
Open for business. Safe travels.
If they're lined up on the road like this, does that mean that Stitches is on his way? Are they just gonna hang out here? Kind of worried, but we will proceed. We'll just try to keep our eyes open. This guy is traveling off-road, like he's being super careful. He's traveling off-road. Beware, a threat lurks in the wild. Night watchers, be on the alert. Okay, he's probably headed down the road, like right at us. Yeah, he's probably on the way. I've never been killed by Stitches, but, you know, there's a first time for everything. Okay, this guy's taken off. He's running for it. Which means stuff is probably happening. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Okay. He's running, but he's running back to camp to hide. Look, he's not even going to fight him. He just ran away, and then he ran back to hide. That's about as close as we want to get. It's probably too close. I realize we don't even have a pet out. Let's go ahead and summon the imp. There we go. That worked out okay. Wow. AoE pulling on hardcore as a mage? Seems risky. I mean, I guess they're doing it. Arcane explosion spam nonetheless. That's gonna make our life more difficult to try to get mobs out here. So that's good. So they are involving me in their aggro, which I really don't appreciate them getting so close to me and then frost novaing stuff that I'm fighting. And so if this person gets themselves in trouble, this is not a person that I'm going to help. I really don't like it when people drag mobs near me, when they purposely do things to get me onto their aggro chain. I really hate that. And so yeah, I hope they overpull. And I hope I'm nearby to watch it go down. How long am I going to stream tonight? I don't know. A little bit longer. I'm kind of surprised that I'm still here. But probably a little bit longer. At least until I can hearth back to town. That's probably the extent of my commitment. Until I can hearth back to town. Because I really don't want to do the run again. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's realistic or not. Depends on how long it takes to do the quest. Until we're done with these quests or my Hearthstone is up. At least until then. The Ghoul Fangs, I don't think well, we could do the Ghoul Fangs. We're gonna be killing lots of ghouls later though. So I don't know if we really have to. Why am I using the Imp? Because that's what I want to use. I like the Imp and I like the build I'm doing. Just a different kind of build. Yeah, I typically don't stream at night, but... in November, for like most of November and then probably part of the beginning part of December, I'm either going to be streaming later than I typically do, or I'm going to be streaming earlier than I typically do, or I'm not going to be streaming. It's going to be one of those kinds of months. My wife had a couple of unexpected classes pop up onto her calendar for work. These were classes that other people were supposed to teach, and because of various issues, now my wife has to teach back-to-back classes. When she was more expecting to just be kind of like producing the classes and just kind of like being present, but now she has to actually like do the hour-by-hour facilitation of 2 classes. That's going to take about 33 days. And so yeah, during the daytime I will be mostly helping out with my son's homeschooling. So I will not be streaming during the normal times, probably for all of November and some of December. So whatever I do will be either like a super early stream or it will be a super late stream. Or there will be no stream. Those are the current options starting on November 6th. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it's basically shit that was caused by other people's incompetence. Without getting like too into the specifics. Just a bunch of classroom facilitation that she shouldn't have been on the hook for that she now is. Yeah, the Shaman episode 1 did okay. I appreciate those of you who checked it out, who left a like or a comment. It really helps out a lot on an episode 1. It'll probably do about as well as Cataclysm content can do right now. Which is, you know, there's not ever really an abundance of hype for Cataclysm content. Like, Classic in general right now is at a really, like, all-time low. as far as like clicks and views and hype and people really giving a shit, like Classic is at an all-time low. Retail never really does good on my channel, so like retail is at an all-time low. Like WoW is in a really like it's in a slump essentially. Like right now it's in a slump, especially for Classic stuff. There's just nothing that anybody's like super excited about. It's all just expected stuff. Like, okay, Firelands came out. Okay, we knew that was gonna happen. It's just like the expected releases and nothing super exciting going on. It just is what it is right now. Yeah, I tried to keep playing the retail campaign, but every time I go back and play it, I'm bored out of my mind. Nobody wants to watch it. It's not very interesting, and it's not fun. So like I have a hard time going back to it because I just don't enjoy it, and nobody else seems to enjoy it. So at that point, where like I'm not having fun, you guys aren't having fun, there's really not a good reason for me to waste my time with it. Sucks, but it's kind of how it is. Yes, yeah, I don't care about any of the transmog shit they add to retail. Like, I just don't care about any of it. There's no amount of transmog or mounts or like anything like that that could make me have fun playing the game. I just don't like the majority of activities you have to do in the game. And I don't like the story or the characters. So if I don't like the majority of the activities in the game, and I don't like the story, and I don't like the characters, then there's really not a reason to engage with it. Yeah, in Classic you have an adventure. In Retail they're trying to force feed you a story. That's like the biggest downfall of like RPGs that try to like become very story oriented, is that then like someone's enjoyment then hinges on whether or not they enjoy the story. Whereas if the game was just a bunch of like fun quests and you felt like you were exploring a zone, you had your boots on the ground, you were like running around doing random stuff, then that leaves room for like your imagination to kind of like step in and get you immersed and get you into the world. Whereas if they're telling you a story and force feeding you a story and you don't like the story, then you're gonna bounce off of all the content. You're not gonna feel immersed exploring the zones. You're not gonna care about like what's going on in the world. It's like if you can't tell an amazing story, then you're better off in a game like this being as story light as possible. Don't have a huge big A plot if it's not going to be great. If you're only going to manage to come up with mediocre shit, it's really better not to waste your time. Like, build something more open where the player can just be doing stuff in the world and where their imagination can step in and create the immersion. Because the story's not doing it. The story's not pulling me in or creating immersion or anything good. And I guess that's the risk of relying on like a big A plot to drive your game forward. Is that some people aren't going to like it, and those people that don't like it, they're not going to be able to really continue engaging with it. Morladim is around here somewhere. Morladim is around here somewhere, just like waiting to smack me. I know that's true. Oh, that's nice. The little worms that spawn when they die, those kill themselves on Fire Shield, which is awesome. I don't really need to work on the ghoul things now if I don't want to. Eventually we'll be going down to the catacombs to kill the plague spreaders, and that will be, you know, plenty of opportunity to work on that one. So I don't know whether it's smart to try to do this one now or just wait on it till later. I don't know if this chains into anything else or not. We saw a bunch of stockades groups like earlier in the night, and then eventually there were no stockades. Lots of dead mines, Shadowfang Keep, BFD. I don't think we need to do SFK or BFD again. It sucks not to get the Robes of Aragol, but I mean, realistically, getting the Robes of Aragol was always a long shot, and I feel like we're getting like outside the level range. Wandering Plague. Physical damage taken is increased by 5, stamina reduced by 3, 10% chance to spread Wandering Plague on hit. Ooh, that's all very bad. feel like we're getting to a point where I'm seeing like almost no return on speccing into Curse of Weakness. I feel like we're approaching like a threshold where this is becoming less and less powerful. And maybe I'm gonna want those points back to spend in anything else. Like maybe eventually we'll spec out of this, and we'll spec into Drain Life, and then we'll have to go into Fell Concentration to avoid the pushback. Because yeah, I feel like we're just not getting a lot of worth out of this as we level up. Like we're almost at a point right now. Like this combat will probably go better if I go in with the imp, let the imp get a couple shots, and then I do Curse of Agony instead of Curse of Weakness, and then we just crank out more DPS. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be better, like almost all the time going forward. I think it was when I picked it, like I knew eventually there was gonna be a drop off. Early on, this makes you really strong. You put this on a person, they're hitting you, you're taking basically no damage. Like early on, this works really, really well. And I kind of always knew that as we leveled up and as the enemies were more powerful, that it would work less and less. And I feel like we're kind of approaching that level 30 point, and I think level 30 is kind of the tipping point where that becomes less useful and that it's more valuable to put more damage onto the target more quickly. Is Drain Life more damage? Not unless we spec into it. And then also we're dealing with pushback because we're not using a Void Walker. So in order for Drain Life to be useful, I have to have 5 points to spend here, and then I have to have 5 points to spend here. This is what makes it so that we can do Drain Life without getting a bunch of knockback when they're hitting us in the face. So that's like 10 points I need. Even if I spec out of this, that's only 3 points. I like everything else I have going on. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a while until we can make Drain Life worth it. Like, I could put the 3 points here instead, but that's not going to help us if we're getting punched in the face. With the build I'm doing, like, the life tap Drain Life is not going to work. Because that philosophy is dependent upon using a Void Walker and not getting hit in the face. So, like, if you're getting hit in the face and you're trying to Drain Life, like, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna keep getting pushback. It's just not a really good way to go. Like, you can do it, but you're gonna burn mana because you have to keep recasting this over and over and over again as you lose ticks of it to the pushback. We found some male shoulders of the boar. 5 spirit, 4 strength. Too bad I can't use the auction house. Why am I not using the Void Walker? Because I don't want to. Because I find the Void Walker really fucking boring. I find pets that tank enemies away from you really boring. And when I get bored, I disengage with the combat, and when I disengage with the combat, I make stupid choices that inevitably get me killed. Yeah, it's just a personal choice. Like, I just don't like the Void Walker. I don't like pets in general. I'm not a pet person. But if I'm gonna have a pet, I like it to be like a turret that I set down and then it fires. And that's exactly what the imp is. It's a turret that I set down, it fires at the enemy. Yeah, it's just a personal preference. When I set out to play this character, I knew I wasn't going to use the Void Walker. I've known I wasn't going to use the Void Walker from level 1. Maybe eventually that'll get me killed. I don't know. It's yet to be seen. How am I doing? I'm doing great. I am sitting here playing World of Warcraft, so doing pretty good. I think maybe I will spec out of this, and we'll start specking into Improved Drain Life, and we'll just kind of go from there. I still kind of want to put the rest of the points into Fel Intellect though. I feel like the imp having more mana is a good thing. Maybe I could take a couple points out of Demonic Embrace. It's nice to have the additional stamina and spirit though. But maybe I can do 3 points there, 5 points here. I can shift these points over to Drain Life. I can start going into Drain Life. I wonder how Destruction does. I wonder how it feels to go like straight into like Improved Shadow Bolt. Cataclysm, reduce the mana cost of your destruction spells. 2% chance to daze? Reduce casting time of your Shadow Bolt and Immolate spells. Oh, okay, that's good. That could be a fun thing to try when we have like a bunch of talent points. Maybe try like a straight up destruction build and see how that feels. Alright, that is 10 out of 10. We are done with everything in this area. I think what I'll do... You know, the safest way back to town would probably be to do that. Oh, you know what we could do? If we want to get back to town, we can just run... We could probably run over to Sentinel Hill. I bet if we run over to Sentinel Hill, that's probably like the fastest way to get back, because then we can take a flight point back. Not getting killed by Morladim on the way, who's probably patrolling somewhere nearby, would be good.
Good day to you. See you later.
At some point I have to go back to the middle of the Barrens to turn in this Warlock quest. I would have to go out there just to turn it in. There's really nothing else that I would do out that way. It's literally in like the middle part of the Barrens.
Light be with you. Light bless you. Go with honor, friend.
Hey there. Farewell. Have a good one.
What can I do for you? Have a good one. For the Alliance.
Alright, guys, I am out of time for the evening. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me as we play some hardcore. I'm not sure when I'll be back. I might stream tomorrow. Might not be back until Monday. Expect streams to be either much earlier than usual or much later than usual. With the exception of maybe a Saturday stream, which might happen at around the same time. But yeah, for the next little while, I'll be trying to stream when I can, but it probably won't be at our regularly scheduled time. But I will be here when I can, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. As always, take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other, and we will see you back in Azeroth again very soon. Bye for now.